back
Yeah.
building.
Oh, the back building there?
Yes.
Okay.
So they just applied.
Yeah.
They had applied for once before, they got denied, then they reapplied for it, and they
Right. Round 2 came out.
revamped it up. We added some stuff to it, now it's coming back to me.
Oh, great.
It sounds, easier. I guess it worked.
Okay, and you want to go on to the second part of your report, which is sort of the new format. It's based generally on the information that Glastonbury provides. Amy does it a little different than Glastonbury. She's using fiscal notes as opposed to the form, but I happen to like the fiscal notes because you can see which
Me
line it
too.
applies to.
So much easier. So since we just did the quarterly last month, there's really nothing here that you haven't or that hasn't already been brought to your attention. Nothing significant has changed within the last 3 to 4 weeks. So if there's any specific questions that you have, happy to answer them, but I don't think that there's anything in here really that hasn't been brought to your attention during the last report.
So the only thing that has changed is sort of the excess revenues is down to 305. I think in our quarterlies it was a little bit higher than that, wasn't it, at 5? And that's just the normal fluctuation, I'm assuming.
The 305, I think there was a little bit more that was added to our investment income. I think I was projecting around $1 million or so, and we're at like 1.3 million.
So the 300 is excess revenue?
Mm-hmm.
So to the good.
Right.
Okay. So that's good news.
Yes.
And then, Amy, one sort of general question I had, the reason I have it is Glastonbury has in there is encumbrances.
Mm-hmm.
How do we account for encumbrances, and how do you think about that?
So our encumbrances go through our financial accounting system. So they enter a PO and then it's automatically translated into an encumbrance in our system. So we have essentially what you have here. So you'll have your budgeted, you'll have your actual, and then in our financial system, we have another line that's for encumbrances. And so we'll have, say, $500 in the encumbrance line. As soon as that's paid, that's zeroed out and it goes into your actual line, what you guys look at.
So maybe it's worth adding an encumbrance line, because when you think about left to spend.
So yes and no. I was thinking about that. The majority of our budget is salaries. So that's going to be the majority. Like right now we have about $500,000 in encumbrances. $400,000 of that is our medical insurance because we pay about $200,000 a month. So it's not really anything that's going to be significant to sway. And then sometimes a lot of our departments will put in so that they don't have to go back to the department head for every time they buy a $5 part. They'll put in like a blanket PO, and those aren't always accurate as to what they think they're going to spend. They don't want to have to get a PO for every $10 item.
Then I guess I would just ask you to add to your report that if there's any significant encumbrance other than something like that
Sure.
we should be aware of.
Yep.
And you can do that through the narrative section. Are people comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay. And then do you want to go through the expenditures, or should we just add questions?
You just ask questions.
Okay. Derek or Bert, did you guys have any questions?
No.
Okay, so we have a couple of outstanding things. The perennial economic development, 12,000 overage. Amy is still looking into that. Do we have any updates as sort of how we're?
I think this is just something that has to be cleaned up at year end. It was just something that happened during the munis conversion. We are going to have other line item transfers just because of the CSEA contract. So I was just holding off until year end to do all the transfers at once instead of piecemeal. But there's no supplemental appropriations needed.
That will be a transfer using current budget.
Savings, right?
Okay, excellent. And then I did have a question about the Board of Ed, and I don't know why. Can you walk us through sort of the status of that? And they're looking at the year-end projections and where they're finding savings to come in on budget.
But then I'm going to have nothing to talk about during the Board of Ed quarter.
All right, we will wait then. Yes, yes. I don't want to steal your thunder.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, is there anything else on that? Let me get feedback from folks. Are people comfortable with the report?
I like the report. I like the way the notes are laid out. It's easy to follow.
Font is big enough. Yes, I'm delighted.
Okay, great.
And you'll notice in the quarterly, we do have another column for year-end projections, which we don't do in the monthly. And I'm comfortable with that, but I did want to point out that difference to folks.
No, this is very clear.
Okay.
Except for this item under landfill, percent spent. DIV over.
What page are you on?
On page
Yeah,
4.
I can clear those out. It's just the Excel formula. We can just change them to zeros. We typically do that during the budget.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
Oh, got it. I didn't even notice that. Thank you, Kurt. Okay, now we're going on to the town quarterly financial report. So this ends at March 30th, 2023. So as of that, so it's not the most current, but it still gives us a more comprehensive look at the budget, especially in capital. For members of the public, we did receive this report in April, but because the budget at that time was taking up a lot of our time, we put off the quarterly discussion of capital. And I just wanted to remind the public that the Board of Finance has a policy to permit overages in the CNR fund, capital non-recurring fund, by 10%, but not to exceed $5,000, as long as there's sufficient savings elsewhere.
So those will either get closed out at year end, and they'll disappear, or I have been keeping the ones, especially on the school side, open. So the ones that say completed need state audit. Those are the ones, those are the ones where the state's 7 years behind, so we can't close them out until we get permission from the state.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't we go on to the CNR then? Page 12. And this is where, for members of the public, you will see some minor overages, but none exceed 10% or $5,000, and those will be cleaned up at year end. I did have one question there that I'd asked Amy to reach out to council. I don't know if you've had a chance to do that, but the infrared asphalt trailer has had no expenditure since it was approved in fiscal year 20, which means it was approved in 2019. Technically, by our charter, that no expenditures have been made within 3 years, which is the case there, unless there's been an error in accounting. That project has technically lapsed, and if they want to buy it again, they'll have to come to us for a supplemental appropriation. So,
Yeah, I think I had spoken to this one at the December quarterly, but I had followed up with Tom Fry on this one, and they're not going to move forward with the project. So it's okay going back into fund balance.
okay, so for the next quarter or year-end close will be our
They'll
next
close it
quarterly.
out.
They'll close it
Right.
out. Okay.
So that goes for any of the
Brand,
20s.
yeah.
Right.
It's some of them you can see there has been expenditure made, and if there's been, even $5 expended, that complies with the charter. But if there's been no expenditure within 3 years, that's exciting.
That was fun.
Yeah, brings back memories of October 2011. All right. I'm trying to think if I had any others there. That was all I had. Did anyone have any other?
They don't get to have revenue.
They don't get revenue from renting their facility?
Town gets it. Board of Education cannot have revenue.
But they do get revenue for student activities. So so why isn't this similar to student activities?
Student activities are specific donations for specific purposes that people have fundraisers or events or parents are contributing for specific reasons. This is just, we're charging somebody a service, and according to the state of Connecticut, we're not allowed to do that. It goes to the town.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions from folks? And now comes always the height of every year, which is the tax collector suspense list. People always wonder, why do we publish names and addresses and the reason for the suspense list? And the answer is state law requires it, and that's Connecticut General Statute, Section 12-165, Municipal Suspense Tax Book. That reads, each municipality shall have a suspense tax book. At least once in each year, each collector of taxes in each municipality shall deliver to the Board of Finance a statement giving by rate bill, the name and address of the person against whom each uncollectible tax was levied, and the reason why such collector believes that such tax is uncollectible. They do within the statute make it clear this is not an abatement, and they do continue to seek reimbursement and collection, but it's an accounting change that shows that we have not been able to collect it up to this point. It goes in a different accounting ledger, I guess, called a suspense book. Amy, did you want to add to that?
No, I don't think so. That's pretty a good synopsis of it. Just the most of it is the motor vehicles. And I think that there was one actual real estate property that was added to the list this year that was recommended by council.
So how are they categorized? I'm trying, oh, I see, okay, I don't know, left-hand side it says motor vehicle. And I guess by date, right?
Amy, the total amount is only about 40,000, is that right?
So,
47.
47.
So I actually have to sign this. Okay, so that's also really exciting.
That's a break.
Okay. All right. So with that, may I have a motion? Mike, do we still have you online?
He's still here. He's just on mute.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. May I have a motion effective May 16, 2023 to approve the suspense list in the amount of $46,775.37 and to authorize the tax collector, Colleen O'Connor, to transfer these accounts to the suspense tax book.
so moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 The motion carries unanimously. Next on our list is to appoint the auditor for fiscal year 2022-2023, which will conclude on June 30th of this year. The Board of Finance is required by state statutes and the town charter to appoint the town's auditor and to file with the Secretary of the Office of Policy Management. And although our board doesn't technically file it, Amy does. Thank you, Amy. It is our responsibility. The name of the independent auditor within 30 days to the close of the fiscal year, which we are now within, not quite within that time frame, but we have to hold another special meeting. So we're doing it early. This is the fifth year of a contract awarded to Clifton Larson Allen LLP after the town issued an RFQ in August 2018. It was for 3 years, and then we had the option of extending it for 2 years. So this is the second year extension. We'll have to go out to bid after this extension. Wendy? There we go. Okay. There's no fiscal impact to the town's financial impact to the town's budget because we do budget for both on the town side and the Board of Ed for a total appropriation of $67,000 between the town and the Board of Ed. It's within what we have budgeted, so no supplemental or additional financial impact, although there is a cost for the audits. With that, may I have a motion effective May 16, 2023 to appoint Clifton Larson Allen LLP as the town of Simsbury's auditors for the fiscal year 2022-2023.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Excellent. So we have on here the first discussion of the summer capital discussion. As you may recall, during the budget cycle, and members of the public who may not have been present, we voted to have a capital discussion for financial planning purposes. But we'll have more time. This
Yeah,
is the
they all
first.
sounded good. I'm not sure I digested them.
Yes, yeah, that's good for now.
The one thing I did ask Amy to add to the list is to start us with a review of the current capital projects and their status of completion. So I always think it's a good idea when you look to the future, look at where you are today
Yeah.
and where you're going. And then, during the budget tri-board, we've asked for some transparency information on information our board needs so that we can make policy decisions should we start thinking about how we're going to fund that in the long term and what we're going to do in between, given that we're probably not going to be able to do a full renovation in the next 5 to 10 years. Is there anything else on that? Okay, so then what we're gonna do, is I'm gonna recommend, and Mike, if you could just be available by text so that we can text you after 8 o'clock when we need you for the mill rate.
Actually, do you want to do the minute?
Let's do the minutes, yes, I forgot about the
that
minutes.
before.
Yes. May I have a motion to amend the agenda to consider the minutes before we recess?
So moved.
So moved. Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the agenda is amended to review the minutes. I did send in some changes to Amy, which she
They're actually incorporated.
which she already incorporated. So if people have had a chance to review them, please let us know if there are any changes.
I went through them and didn't have any comments.
Yeah, move to approve them.
Why don't you do, we can do, if there are no changes, why don't you make the motion to approve the 3 minutes?
I move to approve all 3 minutes.
Of March 20,
I'm sorry. I move to approve the minutes of March. I can read my copy.
oh, you have it.
March 21st, April 4th, and April 18 of 2023.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. So that leaves just one final motion that our board needs to take. It's probably the most important motion we take of the year, and that will be setting of the mill rate. We will be doing that as close to 8 p.m. as soon as they have the numbers ready for us, assuming it passes.